Nancy Pelosi is the first woman in American history to serve as Speaker of the House. And over the years, she has played a crucial, critical role when it comes to advancing or thwarting the agenda of multiple presidents. And now Nancy Pelosi has decided to step down from leadership. We take a look at her political journey and how she became a force on the Capitol Hill.
I can do whatever I feel like.
She's one of the most powerful women in Washington, D.C. She broke gender barriers and made her way into the Old Boys Club on the Capitol Hill. She's the only woman to have ever served as the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives.
Article 2 is adopted.
We're talking about Nancy Pelosi.
Don't mess with me.
Pelosi first ran for office at the age of 47 in the year 1978. Though the road has been long, but her impressive fundraising skills and her innate political acumen brought her to the top of US politics, and she stayed there for decades. But now, Pelosi has announced that she will no longer lead the Democrats in the House.
It's been with great pride in my 35 years in the House I have seen this body grow more reflective of our great nation, our beautiful nation. And with great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress. For me, the hours come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect. And I'm grateful that so many are ready and willing to shoulder this awesome responsibility.
In 1969, Pelosi and her family moved to San Francisco, where her husband Paul worked as a banker, while Nancy raised their children and started a Democratic Party club at her home. In 1976, she worked for the presidential campaign of California Governor Jerry Brown. At the age of 47, Pelosi dived deep into politics. She threw 100 house parties, recruited 4,000 volunteers, and raised $1 million in 7 weeks. Within no time, she rose through the ranks of the state's Democratic Party. By 1981, Pelosi was the Democratic Party chair for the state of California. And in 1987, she won a seat in the Congress. In the year 2001, Nancy Pelosi ran for the House Minority Whip, the second in command in the House of Representatives, and won a narrow victory. The next year, she moved up to being the Minority Leader, a title held by the person leading the opposition in the House. By this time, Washington knew Pelosi as a fiery and one of the most outspoken politicians. In 2003, Nancy Pelosi fiercely opposed the then-President George W. Bush's decision of invading Iraq. Her stand was vindicated and paid dividends in 2007. Democrats took control of the House for the first time in 12 years, and Nancy Pelosi scripted history, becoming the first woman in U.S. history to be elected the Speaker of the House. Pelosi was in the role for nearly 4 years. In 2010, Democrats lost the control of the lower chamber of Congress. Apart from this setback, Pelosi even battled several challenges within her own ranks. In 2018, she took the gavel once again. It was a remarkable comeback. However, the circumstances were not the same this time. Sitting in the White House in the president's office was Donald J. Trump. And Pelosi became the subject of major Republican anger, who saw her representing the coastal elites pushing big spending. Republican State Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was also an obstacle for her. So any bills that her party got through the House failed to go any further. What happened in the next 12 months has gone down in US political history.
Together we are going to end crazy.
In 2019, as more emerged of Trump's dealings with Ukraine, Pelosi called it an abuse of power and something that cannot be ignored. That year, Donald Trump was impeached for the first time. He was accused of holding up US aid to Ukraine and of pressing Ukraine to dig up damaging information on Joe Biden. As Trump wrapped up his State of the Union address later in the House chamber, Pelosi coolly tore up his speech. The visuals instantly went viral all around the world. Trump, however, was acquitted in the Republican-controlled Senate. In her fourth term as Speaker after Joe Biden took office, Nancy Pelosi has been leading much of the president's legislative agenda through her chamber despite thin margins. But Pelosi continued to be a hate figure for the right. During the 2021 Capitol Hill riots, Trump supporters ransacked her office and an angry mob chanting "Where is Nancy?" desecrated the halls of the Congress. Pelosi moved quickly after that to try to oust Donald Trump, who she called the deranged, unhinged, dangerous president of the United States. She secured a second impeachment of the president days before he left office. The animosity reached shocking new levels when an intruder, apparently looking for the speaker, violently assaulted her husband in the run-up to the November 8 midterms. In recent weeks, Pelosi has also angered China, when she became the most senior US lawmaker to visit Taiwan in 25 years. After her visit, tensions heightened in the strait, which witnessed increase in incursions by the Chinese military, and it also further deteriorated ties between United States and China. While Nancy Pelosi has had a storied political tenure, did these subsequent events push her to step down from the position of the US House Speaker? Or did she feel it was time to make way for the next generation of Democrats to take over? Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.